Thank you.
Hey, hello everyone, this is Richard with Richard Runs Trails. Hope everybody's having a great week. In today's video, as you saw in the intro, I'm talking about Habanero 100. It's a race report, and also I'm doing a workout which includes Navy SEALs, double Navy SEALs. I'll do that for the first round. And then maybe for the second round I need to switch to normal Navy SEALs. It has goblet squats, flutter kicks, kettlebell swings, and one exercise I've never done before called Around the World. Let's talk about Habanero 100. So Habanero 100 was about a week and a half, not about a week ago. And I was signed up for the 100 miler. Actually, I originally signed up for the 100K, changed to the 100 miler because I thought I'd finished the 100K before, finished the 50K, and I really wanted to finish the 100 miler. Last year I made it to about 100K, and then I couldn't go any further. I had some problems with my feet. So the target was to finish the 100 miler. I started the race, felt good, and first couple laps, each lap is 10K. I was wearing my Speedgoat 5s. First time ever running Habanero with Speedgoat 5s, Hoka Speedgoat 5s. Before, I always used Olympus, Ultra Olympus. Well, first couple laps I ran strong. It wasn't as hot as previous years. It's still in the high 90s. Very high humidity though. I think it was like 80% humidity, somewhere in that range. So the first few laps I felt pretty good. Had a pretty good pace. I was kind of controlling myself. But around the end of the third lap, which is about 30K, I started having some stomach problems, which is odd for me because I never have. You know, some people struggle with stomach problems in ultras, but you know, I've done over 35 ultras and I've never had stomach problems before. Stomach was feeling bad. My colon was feeling pretty bloated, like too much air, you know. It was really uncomfortable feeling, and wasn't sure what was wrong. Eventually was able to make a pit stop in the woods and try to clean out my system. But after I did that, I still was bloated and I had air in my system, and I wasn't real sure why. I was halfway through a lap when that happened. So I had another 3 miles to get back to the main aid station, which had porta potties. So made it back to the main aid station and hit the porta potties again. It's really strange. I never had that problem race. I usually never go to the toilet during a race. So it was a really new problem for me, and was able to get a lot of gas out of my system. And you know, around end of the third lap, beginning of the fourth lap, you know, this race starts at high noon, so it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so it was extremely hot. It was above 100, high humidity. But I felt my hydration was okay, and after hitting the porta potties, I felt like I was kind of getting back together. But I lost an extra hour and a half on the third lap. I mean, these laps should have taken me hour and 20, hour and 30. I just had a really long lap because I just followed pieces. I basically had to walk the whole lap. And got going again. It got dark, and I started really pushing the laps. I was able to bank some time that I lost. And then once I got, my goal was to get, you know, 100 miles, 16 laps. My goal was to get to the 11th lap by the time the sun came up. And I was able to push through the night. I mean, it was hot. It never got cool, but it felt much better, and I felt much better. Got coffee in my system. You know, lubed up a couple times. I was using different lubes. I was using the one I usually use, the cyclist lube, but I was also trying this new one called from Salty Britches. It's a lube made up in the Northeast that I think some background in the military. It's supposed to help protect the skin better. I thought it was okay. I don't think the compounding on it was very good, because in the high heat it started to separate a little bit. So maybe they designed it for the Northeast, but when you're running in 100-degree temperatures, a lot of the chafing products, I mean, like Vaseline turns to liquid. Some of them work better than others, but it worked okay. Tried it out for the first time, and so around the time the sun came up, I was finishing the 10th lap, and my feet were in trouble. They were swollen and really blistered. I don't blister much in ultras. Now, when I did the Habanero last year, even though I was wearing my ultras, which have more room, I also had some blistering problems, but not as severe as this year. And the blistering in my foot happened in the center of my forefoot here. I never had that problem. And what I learned is Hoka Speedgoats I've raced in up to 50 miles had no problem. But when you get into the 100K, 100 miles, I mean, fractions of an inch matter. And these shoes, I've come to the conclusion that 100K plus, they're too narrow for me, even though they fit okay up to 50 miles. So anyways, I got blistered in the middle of my foot on both feet, so I know it's the shoes. So I always wear the same socks. That variable didn't change. I always wear Indulge socks, have for years, toe socks. No problem with my toes. Just had some forefoot blistering. But I was going into I wanted to finish the 11th lap by the time the sun came up. I was on the 10th lap, and I only had an hour banked for the last 6 laps. So I basically had to run the last 60K with an hour banked, and I wasn't running through the night anymore. The sun was coming up, and it was going to be 100 degrees again for another 60K after I just, you know, have been running half a day and all night. And with the situation with my feet, I thought that I could finish the race, but I'd go from an injury to a serious injury on my feet. And this race for me is just a training run, basically. My A races are in October and November. I have 100 milers. They're in the mountains in cooler temperatures. So I decided to pull it at 100K, and race directors are real nice. I mean, of course, I won't get any credit for the 100-miler, but they did give me a 100K buckle, so I got another buckle for my collection. It's a pretty cool buckle. I've gotten 3 different ones from Habanero. And, you know, 100-milers are really difficult. I've done close to 40 ultras. Most of them are 50K or longer. Most of them are 100Ks, actually. I've never DNF'd 100K. And in the 100-milers that I've run 9. I finished 4. And then the other 5, I have finished at least 100K. So 100K is kind of my sweet spot. I like that distance. However, if you want to qualify for the really big races like Western States, UTMB, you really need to work on the 100-miler. And so I plan to do 200 or 300 milers a year. Got 2 more this year, and then I've got one in February. The February one, so I've got Arkansas Traveler, which is a 100-miler, and then I've got Dinosaur Valley, which is outside of Dallas. So it's October and November. February, I've got Rocky Raccoon, which is a Western States qualifier. I need to do that in order to qualify for Western States the following year. Not next year, but the following year, 2024. So that's why I do 100 milers. They're really tough on the body. I really prefer the 100Ks, and most of my races are 100Ks or 50Ks, but the 100 milers are a necessary evil. 100 milers are the most difficult distance. It's more difficult than 200 milers. You're like, you're crazy? 200 milers is easier than 100 miler? Yes, it is, because you get 3 or 4 days to finish. 100 miler, you got 30 hours, period, to finish the race. So it's tough. And you know, your body, you start out at your around training pace, you get through about a third of the race, you start deteriorating per mile, and then towards the last 20 miles, you're kind of power hiking. It's a really tough race to finish. And I finished 100 milers in the 27, 28, 29 hour range. There's no time to mess around. I mean, I'm in aid stations 1 or 2 minutes. And I don't use pacers or crews, never have, and that's just my way of doing things, not knocking people that do, but I do everything on my own, and I really like doing it that way. So after the race, I was like, damn these Speedgoat 5s, I'm not going to wear them anymore. Before the race, I was thinking they're my next weapon to do better in 100 milers, but they really blistered my feet. And then I was thinking, well, maybe I'll go back to my Olympus 4s. I still have a fairly new pair. I thought about getting the Olympus 5, and then I looked online. Everybody says the Olympus 5 is a bunch of crap and it's falling apart. And it's much smaller than the Olympus 4. So that would be a short-term fix, because I can't go to the Olympus 5. However, there are Olympus 4s for sale. I've got one that's fairly good, so I thought to myself, why don't we try the wide on the Speedgoat 5? I didn't do that before because I had some Stinsons, black Stinsons I was using for work that I had a wide in, or double E, and they were too wide in the heel, but the upper was very soft. So I think what's happening is, after 50 miles, and I know my feet are swelling because after the race I can't wear normal shoes. I have to wear my sandals for 2 days. So my feet are swelling. And I think that these may feel okay before the race and up to 50 miles, but my feet are swelling over time and it gets too tight. And what happens is my skin is bunching up here. It's causing blisters. So what I'm going to do, I have a race every month. So I have a marathon before my 2 ultras in the fall. So this month I have a trail ultra in about 2 weeks. I'm going to try Speedgoat double E's with my socks are Indulge. You know, there's Indulge regular, there's Indulge trail, Indulge ultra. I've been wearing Indulge trail because the ultra has not been available. I'm going to go to double wide on Speedgoat 5 and then go to ultra Indulge, which are thicker. I can do that in the fall when the temperatures are getting cooler. In the summer it's too hot. And so I'll get added protection from the sock and a little bit wider shoe. And a thicker sock should help me in the heel. Because that's the problem with a wide shoe. You can't just say, I want it wide in the front. They're going to make it a little bit wider in the heel too. So my heel's normal in the back. So that's my plan. I'm going to get double E Speedgoat 5s and then go to the thicker version of Indulge, the most thick one, and see how that goes. So I finished at 100K, and my feet were in real bad shape. You know, it was a week ago. I'm still not running. I'm running a little bit on my treadmill, but mostly just lifting weights every day, really busting it on the weights. And I've also been fasting, been doing 17-hour fasts for the last week. I think it dropped 5 pounds just in 1 week. So I need to drop some more weight. That's another thing, you know, touchy subject for some people, but weight matters in the long ultras. Why does it matter? Because you have to carry the weight. And more importantly, like Chris Mako always said, you have to increase the gaps. What do you mean increase the gaps? When you're heavier, the gaps, you know, between your legs, between your butt, on top of your butt, below your butt, anywhere there's extra skin is going to chafe 100K plus. I don't care how much you lube, especially in hot temperatures. So reducing your weight, increasing the gaps. So that's kind of what I'm doing, and increasing the muscle. I've really been working out hard. So that's my race report. I did show you the start of the race. My plan was to show, I wasn't going to film much of the race because it's a boring course, and I've shown it before, actually more than once. I was planning to film when the sun was going down. That'd be pretty, but that was when I was sick. And then I was planning to film when the sun was coming up, but that was a little bit after I finished the race. I mean, I was driving away when the sun started coming up. So that's why I only have some coverage of the start of the race, so I hope you enjoyed it. So next I'm doing Simon Traeger's workout, and has some really tough workouts, so stay tuned for the next part of the video.